Hello, Redbridge! I hope you are all well and welcome back to week 2 of Redbridge Libraries' special story time with MamaG for LGBT History Month. I hope you enjoyed last week's story. I certainly did. And the song, of course. I bet you've been singing If You're Happy and You Know It all week, haven't you? Well, today I've got another wonderful story for you. Well, I would say it's wonderful because I wrote it myself. And another fantastic song at the end. So buckle up and enjoy! It's story time with Mama G. Come and hear a story with me. Love who you want to be, who you are. Learn these lessons and we'll go far. It's story time. Story time. Story time with Mama G. Once upon a time, in a land far away, lived a handsome prince, and the prince was gay. So were his mums, for in this land, ladies loved ladies and men held hands. And this kingdom was beautiful, calm and serene, ruled, as it was, by a couple of queens. But deep in the forest, a witch was spelling a spell that would lead to ne'er-do-welling, for she had been spurned by one of the queens, who now ruled this kingdom, calm and serene. But revenge would be hers, for in the years since, witch had plotted a plan to entrap the prince. And today, Prince Danilo turned 18. If you follow fairy tales, then you know what this means. It means his mums had a party planned, for now was the time to find him a man. And they had their sights set on handsome Prince Tom, the most handsome prince from the neighbouring kingdom. Tom and Danilo had been friends for years, sharing jokes and laughter and sometimes some tears. And the queens had seen the boys' eyes meet across many crowded rooms. It was really quite sweet. So all they needed was a little shove, and then the two kingdoms would be united by the prince's true love. And right now, Prince Tom and his horse were on their way, but the witch, of course, would cause a delay. She saw Prince Tom coming, and she saw her chance to instigate her plan and destroy romance. She put a curse on the horse that made the horse stumble, and then from his horse Prince Tom tumbled. He called out for help, and the witch appeared, but dressed as a knight, so he wasn't afeared. Back to her cottage she took the prince, and some might say he's not been seen since. And there she cast a spell that was far from shoddy, for it gave her the form of Prince Tom's body. Looking like Tom, she put on his clothes, and it was quite a disguise, not even a witch's nose. Then she tied him up without any hassle and rode his horse to Prince Danilo's castle. "Oh, you're here," the queen said. "Don't miss your chance. Prince Danilo's about to dance his first dance." And the witch quite agreed. She had to move fast. No kiss by sunrise, and this spell wouldn't last. Or even better, marriage would be ideal. And when they were wed, she could finally reveal that he had married a witch, and now for life, instead of a husband, he had a wife. Prince Danilo and his beau waltzed around the hall. Oh, it was no surprise. He was having a ball. Danilo looked at Prince Tom's face, on which there was no trace. "How lucky I am," Prince Danilo said, "to love my best friend. Do you think we should wed?" The hall went silent. What would Prince Tom say? Would that there should be a royal wedding today? "Well," said Prince Tom, "I think you can guess. My answer, my darling, is, of course, yes. The whole hall cheered. The queens were delighted, and the witch was thrilled. Their wrongs had been righted. She leaned in for a kiss to claim her man, but the prince refused. That wasn't the plan. My darling, let's wait until we are wed. When will that be? At sunrise, he said. Sunrise? I can't wait, the witch cried out. Then why is it, my dear, that you scream and shout? Because I'm so happy to have finally found my bloke. Then why from your ears is there pouring green smoke? Oh dear, she was getting angry. All would be revealed. That's not Prince Tom. That's a witch, a queen squealed. I remember that smoke from when I saw you last and told you our love was a thing of the past. Get out of here at once. Get away from my son. And whatever spell this is, I want it undone. It's too late, the witch said. For that you need a prince. And remember earlier in the story, he's not been seen since. And besides, Prince Danilo asked for my hand. We'll be married at sunrise, just as he planned. Said the other queen, hold on, I've got an idea. I think Prince Tom's steed might still be here. She shot out of the castle along with her wife, and they rode to the forest to save their son's life. But the witch wasn't stupid, oh no. She cast a spell to make the trees in the forest grow and swell. The horse got confused and lost his way. Perhaps they weren't going to save the day. The forest was dark. They were cold and afraid when they heard cries of help being plaintively made. They followed the voice, and where should it lead but straight to Prince Tom, tied up on his knees. The queens rushed in and did what they could. Hurry up, said the horse. Let's get out of this wood. At least I won't get lost, because it is getting light. Oh no, said the queens, that can't be right. But it was. The sun was starting to rise, and their son would soon be the witch's prize. Don't worry. This is a fairy tale, of course. They just didn't know they had a flying horse. When they got to the castle, the wedding was underway, and the sun was so risen it was almost day. Prince Danilo looked sad, which made Tom's heart break. Stop it, he shouted. This wedding's a fake. He ran down the aisle and pushed the witch aside. Oh, my poor Danilo, you almost had a bride. He got down on one knee with a wedding ring. Will you marry me, my prince, and become my king? I will, said Danilo, starting to cry. They kissed as thunder rumbled in the sky. For the witch's spell was coming undone. Love, as they say, had indeed won. And the witch didn't look like Tom anymore. In fact, she was melting into the floor. Smoke filled the hall, and her screams filled the air. The people could be sad, but then, well, fair's fair. And when the witch had disappeared for good, Princes Danilo and Tom got married, as they should. The horse was the ring bearer, the queens were bridesmaids, and the wedding was celebrated in the kingdom for days. And now Prince Danilo and Tom's lives are filled with love, joy, and laughter. You could say they lived happily ever after. You can't live your life in just one color. You can't have the moon without the sun. A football team needs more than one player, and you can't be a kid without having fun. People People will tell you you're too darn bright. People will tell you to fade to grey. But I say fizz, pop, sparkle and glow. Let your colors shine and show them the way. It takes every color to make a rainbow. It takes just one sparkle to make a star. If you fill the world with every color, you can all become the stars that you are. You can't have the spring without the summer. You can't have a shark without its bite. You can't have a band without a drummer. And sometimes it's dark before it is light. People will tell you you're too darn bright. People will tell you to fade to grey. But I say fizz, pop, sparkle and glow. Let your color shine and show them the way. Here we go, you can join in. It takes every color to make a rainbow. It takes just one sparkle to make a star. If you fill the world with every color, we can all become the stars that we are. Right, I'm gonna try and rap now. Are you ready? To make honey, you start with a bee. To make a forest, you start with a tree. To make a world full of rainbows and stars, you gotta start with MamaG. All right, you try and join in. Here we go. To make honey, you start with a. To make a forest, you start with a. To make a world full of rainbows and stars, you gotta start with. You got it. Here we go. It takes every color to make a rainbow. It takes just one sparkle to make a star. If you fill the world with every color, we can all become the stars that we are. It takes every color to make a rainbow. It takes just one sparkle to make a star. If you fill the world with every color, we can all become the stars that we are. We can all become the stars that we are. Thank you so much for joining me for that fabulous story, Once Upon a Time. If you would like more information about what Redbridge Libraries are getting up to for LGBT History Month, then make sure you go to the link that's in the post. And there's also a wonderful list of recommended reads for children and young adults. Go and take a look because some of the books are absolutely marvellous. And don't forget that you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Just search for @MamaG Stories. I do like to hear from you, especially if you're enjoying what I do. And I will see you all next week for the 3rd installment of Story Time with MamaG. Bye! It's story time with MamaG. Come and hear a story with me. Love who you want to be, who you are. Learn these lessons and we'll go far. It's story time. Story time. Story time with MamaG.